Well, hey guys, it is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. It's great to be with you on a Thursday afternoon. And we have an amazing master topic this week, which is timeless principles for living with intention and integrity. And the granular topic for this afternoon is a really, really good one. When treated with kindness, pass it on to build a more caring. I think this is important to understand. To build a more caring world. And when we understand that, when we understand that, we're treated with kindness, we can build a more caring community and help instill what so many people are missing. All right, guys, if you are new here, well, welcome to Inspirations for Your Life. It's great to be with you. If you're coming back, well, welcome back. It's always great to have people that have been watching the show and want to come back for some more knowledge. If you're hungry, guys, and you want to head over to the kitchen to get yourself something delicious, maybe it's hot, maybe it's cold, maybe it's a drink, maybe it's a snack, maybe it's a piece of fruit, maybe it's sweet, maybe it's tart, healthy or not, it's up to you. And then don't forget to check out believemeachieve.com for more of my amazing, of course, inspiring creations 24 hours a day. Of course, not now, but later on. That's believemeachieve.com. Incidentally, ladies and gentlemen, I am John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur, not only a podcast host, but also a podcast coach. And I think it's important that we embrace who we are as people every single day. And I know what you're probably saying to me, John. It's like, I get this stuff, but sometimes it doesn't make sense for me. I don't feel like this belongs to me or in my life. Well, you're mistaken, my friends. You definitely are mistaken. So, again, I want to welcome you to another empowering episode of Inspirations for Your Life and help you on this journey of yours through life to become a better you, your best self. In today's episode, I'm going to dive very deep into the ripple effect of kindness, how even the smallest acts, ladies and gentlemen, can spark major changes in people's lives. And I think that's a very, very important thing. When someone shows you kindness, it's more than a moment, it's an opportunity, an invitation, a spark to build something bigger. And we'll uncover how kindness, when passed forward, not only strengthens communities, but also transforms individuals from the inside out. So if you're ready to be a force for good, well, this episode's just for you. And I'll give you the real world insights to carry kindness forward, one act at a time. All right, let's kick this off, guys, with number one, and that is kindness is contagious. So kindness is contagious. Kindness spreads like wildfire. When you're on the receiving end of a kind gesture, you're more likely to offer one in return, not just to the original person, but to others, as it might be holding the door, offering encouragement, or just listening with full attention. These seemingly small moments can uplift someone's entire day and inspire them to do the same for others. That's the power, guys, of emotional reciprocity. And just like a smile, kindness is one of the few things in life that grows when you give it away. Number two, passing it on creates community bonds. You might say, John, I don't understand this. Well, listen up. When kindness is shared, it doesn't just stop with two people, it builds upon this web of connections. Acts of kindness build trust. They reinforce positive behavior and create a culture of compassion, whether it's helping a neighbor or supporting a colleague. Each act strengthens the invisible ties that bind communities together. Over time, this leads to a culture where people look out for one another, not because they have to, okay, but because they want to. That's the kind of world we all deserve to live in. Number three, it starts with an awareness. And the awareness has to start from in ourselves first. You can't pass on kindness, folks, if you're not tuned into the moments around you. Awareness is the foundation. It means noticing not only when someone is kind to you, but also when others might be in need. Sometimes kindness is as simple as being present, listening, okay, and paying attention when other people talk, recognizing the tired cashier, or just offering a genuine thank you. When you become mindful of these moments, kindness becomes second nature instead of an afterthought. Lead by example, folks. Being the first to act with kindness can be powerful in leadership. And when you, yes, when you show others that it means this and the level of importance it gives you, without expecting in return, you set a tone or a precedence that encourages empathy and respect. Leaders, whether in families, schools, or workplaces, shape culture through their actions. Your consistent kindness demonstrates what's possible and gives others permission to follow. The more we model it, the more it multiplies. You never know who needs it, okay? You never know who needs it. Everyone is fighting battles we can't see with our own eyes. That's why even small gestures of kindness can have a huge impact. A kind word might be the only positive moment in someone's day. You may never know how much it means, but that doesn't make it any less valuable, folks. It reminds us to extend grace and empathy freely, even when we're unsure how it will be received. Kindness is never wasted, it always lands somewhere. Number six, kindness builds resilience. Kindness doesn't just feel good, it strengthens us. Both giving and receiving kindness boosts emotional well being, reducing stress and improving mental health. In times of difficulty, knowing we are supported by acts of care from others makes us more equipped to cope, recover, and persevere. The caring community rooted in kindness, guys. Okay. That's right. Rooted in kindness. That's important. Rooted in kindness. It becomes a safety net in hard times and a springboard in good ones. It builds strength, not just individually, but collectively. That's pretty powerful, guys, right? Collectively. Number seven, every act of kindness makes a difference in our world. Never, never, never underestimate the power of a single kind act or gesture. Like the butterfly effect, one simple moment of compassion can set off a positive chain reaction of positive events. You'll never fully see or experience if you don't start doing it. Whether you're buying someone a coffee, giving a sincere praise, or thanking someone, or showing patience, you're planting seeds. You're planting seeds. Over time, these seeds grow into a forest of change. Every act matters, every person matters, and every moment of kindness you share becomes part of something much bigger. Number 8. Understanding all this can be a little daunting. So, I want to talk about the next time. The next time you're treated with kindness, don't let it stop with you. Pass it on. Not because you have to, but because you want to. Let it flow through your arteries and veins and all of the muscles and different components of your body. And as you do that, you'll realize what kindness is. When kindness becomes a habit, it becomes this very positive, euphoric, contagious culture. And culture is how we build communities and lives that we truly want to be a part of. I think some people, they think that if they do something once, that's all they need to do. So Kindness isn't something you do, guys, just for now. Kindness is something you do over and over again. Why? Because you want to, not because you have to. That's key, guys. So here's what I want to do. This is that part of the program I love sharing. So I'm going to give you basically a personal story or lesson for each point that I shared today. Okay. And I'm hoping this will get you to transform into a new way of life. Again, not because you have to, but because you want to. Again, you want to. All right. You want to. And so when we think about want, when we think about desire, when we think about a craving, when we think about the fact that we can be that magic bullet, the one that nobody knew really existed, but we can. We can do this every single day in our lives. And when we learn how to do this, it's like we've learned a new language. We have discovered a new door, found another pathway that we didn't even know existed. We might have discovered a new language, a language that doesn't celebrate people's wrongs, but celebrates the growth and truth of others. And I know what you're saying, guys. Truth sounds great, sounds wonderful, but how do we make it actually work? I think the way we make it work is we take on this concept that life is a choice, and how we choose to embrace life, how we choose to move forward with life makes the real difference. Well, my first lesson is kindness is contagious. A few years ago, I was at a local diner on a rainy afternoon. I saw someone pay for a stranger's meal quietly and without any expectation of recognition. That act just sort of struck a chord with me. The person on the receiving end looked completely surprised and deeply moved. The amazing part was, moments later, I saw that same person hold the door open for an elderly man, then help a young man carry his stroller down the steps, all within minutes. That was the day I truly realized how fast kindness spreads when people feel seen and truly valued. It's like striking a chord, a match. One spark, and suddenly the whole room lights up. Number two, passing it on creates community bonds. Okay. Back when I first launched one of my local networking groups, I noticed how hesitant people were to connect beyond surface level connections. So I started incorporating small kindness rituals, handwritten thank you notes, shout outs during meetings, and surprise snacks. Over time, I watched strangers turn into collaborators, even friends of mine. Members started offering help unprompted, from giving referrals to assisting with events. That culture of kindness became this invisible glue. It reminded me that when intentionality passes kindness forward, you create a space where people feel safe, valued, and willing to invest in one another. Number three, it starts, folks, with awareness. And I've said this before. I remember being in line at a coffee shop, seeing a barista who looked completely drained, probably after hours of dealing with impatient customers. I paused, I looked him in the eye, and simply said, "Thank you for your energy. I know it's not easy today." His entire demeanor changed. He smiled and told me it had been a rough shift. It had been a rough shift. That's amazing. And that no one had acknowledged him until that very moment. That moment stuck with me. It taught me that kindness doesn't always need to be a big stage production. It just needs to be something that's truly from the heart and about awareness and integrity. It's about noticing people, being present, and responding, folks, with heart. Number four, lead by example. When I was mentoring a group of some entrepreneurs, I made it a point to start every session with genuine appreciation, recognizing efforts like not just the results. After a few weeks, I noticed they started doing it too, acknowledging each other's growth and being more collaborative. One of them even said, John, I've never been in a group where I wanted to cheer others on, but here it just feels right. That's the power of leading by example. When kindness becomes part of your behavior, it sets a tone others naturally adopt, not because you ask them to, because it feels authentic. Authentic, authenticity, the truth, the real thing. You never know, folks, who needs it. There was a day I was rushing around between meetings and I passed someone on the street who looked overwhelmed and anxious. I simply smiled and said, Hope your day gets better. I didn't think much of it, but weeks later, that same person recognized me at a community event and said, You don't know this, but I was having the worst day of my life that day. What you said helped me not give up. Wow. And remember, all I said was, Hope your day gets better. That was powerful. That moment was life changing. You don't know this, but when somebody says, I've had the worst day of my life, and that day was definitely it. And when they said, What you said helped me not give up, that story just floored me. It reminded me how often we underestimate the impact of small gestures in our life. Yes, you never know what someone is going through, but your kindness could be the reason they keep going. Number 6, kindness, folks, builds resilience. When I faced one of my most challenging business failures, it was the support from my kind people around me that helped me bounce back. A colleague brought over coffee. It was actually a tea because I don't drink coffee. And they said, This doesn't define you. Let me know how I can help you. That act, so small, yet so meaningful, reignited my drive for life, for passion. Over the following weeks, I was surrounded, guys, by kindness in emails, check ins, and encouragement that helped me find strength again. It taught me that resilience isn't built in isolation, it's reinforced by the people who show up for you when things fall apart. Every act of kindness makes a difference. Number 7. Several years ago, I paid for a struggling student's entry into a growth seminar. I was hosting it. I didn't expect anything in return. A year later, he reached out and told me that experience changed his life. It gave him direction, helped him launch a career in coaching, and now he sponsors students to attend the same events. That was a full circle moment for me. What felt like a small gesture at the time became a launching pad for someone else's life purpose. Kindness works like that. It echoes far beyond the initial moment, often in ways we'll never really know unless we're part of that situation. And I think, regardless of what age you are, regardless of what background you are, what hobbies you like, don't like, I think everyone in this world wants to be treated in a fair manner, right? That's a pretty true statement. But how do we elicit kindness when people in our world sometimes are not kind? That's not easy, guys. I said to you that success is not easy. I also said to you that success is not going to always be comfortable. Remember, I said that to you. And by saying that to you, I want to tell you that it's really, really important. Okay, really, really important. And I want to tell you this right now. When you live from your heart, when you live from pure intention, possibilities in your life, they're endless. Endless. So you might be saying something like, John, how? How? How do I start living a life of kindness? Well, there's many ways. It's a great question. And it's a powerful one. Living a life of kindness doesn't require grand gestures or waiting for the perfect moment. After all, if you wait, someone once said there's no perfect moment now and never will be a perfect moment. You have to make the perfect moment. It's a conscious daily choice, one that starts from the inside out. Here's how you begin life's magic and living with purpose, full of kindness and real intuition with intention. Start with kindness. You can't pour from an empty cup, as I've said before. Begin by speaking to yourself with compassion, forgiving yourself in the past for the mistakes you may have made, and allowing room for growth. When you're kind to yourself, it becomes easier and more natural to extend that to others. Make kindness a habit, right? Incorporate small actions. Hold the door. Smile at a thoughtful message from a stranger, or simply listen without interrupting. Set a personal goal, like one intentional act of kindness per day, and watch how quickly it becomes second nature for you. Number 3, guys, pay attention. Kindness lives in awareness. Look around. Who seems stressed, unheard, or overlooked? Notice people, the barista, your coworker, your neighbor. Being present and observant is the first step to meaningful acts of kindness. And I think a lot of people don't realize that they can make these processes. And these processes allow us to connect. Pay attention. Pay attention. Notice people, whether it's the barista, whether it's neighbors, whether it's strangers, your coworker, other volunteers. Be present and observant. That's the first step to meaningful acts of kindness with intention. But you have to do this from your heart, right? You have to do it from your heart. Number 4, choose empathy over judgment. I know in this world everybody wants a judge. Before reacting to someone's behavior, pause a moment and consider what might they be going through. The simple shift from judgment to empathy opens the door for kindness, especially in challenging moments. I know you might be frustrated because something's going on. I know you might be mad because of a certain situation. That's no way to take that out on someone else. No way at all. Use your strength to serve others. Ask yourself this simple question: how can I help with what I already have? It could be your time, skills, resources, or even a listening ear. When kindness aligns with your strengths, it feels natural and fulfilling, guys, not forced. I think when something in our life is forced, there's so much pressure to finish it or to do it in a certain way. And I think that's hard for some people to understand. Number 6 is one of my big favorites. Practice, 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 guys. Gratitude. Kindness and gratitude go hand in hand. Keep a gratitude journal or make it a habit to thank people out loud. Grateful people tend to be more generous, understanding, and kind in return. So the question you might be asking me, and we'll cover it in a minute: why aren't people kind? At the end of each day, ask yourself, was I kind today? Did I miss the moment? Where I could have been? This isn't about guilt. It's about growing in awareness and realigning with your intentions. Living a kind of life like this doesn't mean you'll always get it right. But the key is to keep showing up with heart, humility, intention, truth, and the desire to make the world just a little bit better than you found it. I think that's a very, very important thing. And I think as we think about all these different things in life, right? We think about the fact that we have the world at our feet, at our fingertips. But sometimes we just don't apply ourselves. Maybe we're lazy. Maybe we don't have the knowledge. And if we don't have the knowledge, that's also no excuse, because you can always get knowledge. You can always become more educated. When I talk to people every day about life, and they're like, well, John, you don't understand. This is what I'm going through. I get what you're going through. But what you have to realize is you don't need to be a martyr. You don't need to be somebody that's like, oh, woe is me, or, what are you going to do for me? Like, I don't have anything. That story gets old very quickly. And people are not going to want to hang around with you, your friends, your colleagues, etc. So when we think about this phrase tonight that the show is, let's say, earmarked around, when treated with kindness, pass it on to build more caring communities. That's important, guys. That is important. It's so super important that I want to tell you, if you cannot remember, your cup needs to be overflowing with the thoughts of positivity, of hope. Right? We talked about hope before. Of hope. Hope is pretty powerful, guys. Hope is very, very powerful. So the question you might ask me, and it's a very, very question, why are many people not kind? Again, that's a loaded question, guys. A really loaded question. Unhealed pain or trauma they might have inside them, stress, and maybe being overwhelmed from many things, from relationships, finances, work, cultural or environmental norms. Maybe someone grows up in a work environment and their kindness is mocked, dismayed, or seen as weakness. They may suppress it to fit in. Unfortunately, unkindness can be contagious too, especially in competitive or toxic spaces. A lack of self-worth, you determine that, and that's not good. People who don't feel good about themselves may struggle to uplift others. Lack of awareness or intentionality. That's important, guys. They confuse kindness with weakness. This is especially common in competitive, and I think that's important. They see kindness as soft, when in reality, it takes strength and emotional intelligence to be kind in a harsh world. My final thoughts, which I think I want to share with you right now, is this. Unkindness is often a symptom of deeper pain, fear, or disconnection, not just a personality flaw. The good news is kindness is teachable. When you can become kind, the world is your oyster, and everyone wants to help you be someone that achieves their aspirations and goals. I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. Do check out BelieveMeAchieve.com for more of my amazing, inspiring creations. I hope you have a great night, and remember, start being kind tomorrow. Thank you, everyone.